Yo, what is good, Mets Nation? Welcome back to Mets Media. This is Richie, and in this video, I'm going to give you guys my recap to the Mets sweeping the Philadelphia Phillies today in a doubleheader. We win both games 4-3 and then 4-0. We got beautiful pitching performances from Walker and Stroman. We got some hitting, actually, in running and scoring position. We got a walk-off to talk about. We got a lot to break down in today's video. And before I do so, if you guys are new to Mets Media, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. If you guys want to check me out over on Instagram and Twitter, that is at NYMets_media. And if you guys enjoy the video, please do not forget to thumbs it up. With that being said, let's jump right in. So, as we know, these games were so important for the New York Mets. The last time we saw the Mets was on Saturday against the Miami Marlins, and we did not win that game. I was actually in attendance, and Jacob deGrom, we wasted another performance of his. I was not able to make a video for that game because I was in attendance. I was actually on TV. Here's a picture of me that was on TV. This is when Francisco Lindor was at bat. I was showing off my brand new Lindor jersey that I just got, and it was pretty cool to be on TV. But let's not talk about that game because that was pretty much of a nightmare. So as we know, Sunday rained out, Monday rained out, so there's a doubleheader today. 7 innings for both games. So let's start off with the first game, and that was a walk-off from Jonathon Villar. Also a very clutch hit from Pete Alonso. So let's get into the pitching performance from Walker. He looks like the real deal. He is totally impressing me. I love this pitching rotation we have so far. I'm excited to see what Cookie can do and Noah Syndergaard when he gets healthy, because I feel like we really have a serious 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pitching rotation when it comes to these New York Mets. So Walker, his numbers for the day was 4.1 innings pitched, 3 hits. He gave up 1 earned run on 3 walks and 8 strikeouts. His ERA this season is a 2.61. So Walker definitely impressed me. I did not realize that he can punch people out at such a high rate. With 8 strikeouts and only 4.1 innings pitched is pretty impressive. He has a powering fastball that the Phillies were not hitting at all. He has so many different pitches that can just manipulate the batters. They do not know what's coming, and Walker is just impressing me, and I feel like that we hit a home run with that free agent signing, and I'm so happy he is a New York Met. Now let's get into some players on the offensive end. Brandon Nimmo is continuing to have probably the hottest start on the offensive end when it comes to the New York Mets. In this game, he didn't do that much, but we know what he did in game 2, and I'll get into that, don't worry. Brandon Nimmo in today's game, he had 2 at-bats with no hits, but he did have 2 walks. We know he's a walking machine, and he is just an absolute stud. Francisco Lindor, he had 3 at-bats in game 1, and he had 1 run. Luis Rojas had a very interesting manager, performance, because what happened was, usually the extra innings rule, right? There's an extra man on second base, and what that runner is usually the last man at bat. But what Luis Rojas did is he did a double switch to make the pitching spot be where Dom Smith was, so that made Francisco Lindor get to be the pinch runner at second. It's really confusing, but Rojas definitely impressed me with that move, and that resulted in Lindor being that runner on second in the bottom of the 8th inning, which resulted in a Pete Alonso single that was a run scored. I feel like if Dom Smith was on second, that would not have been a run, because Francisco Lindor is very fast, as we know. So pretty interesting move from Luis Rojas, the manager. Dom Smith, he had the 2-run bomb to lead off the Mets in that game. He jumped on that pitch. He has 2 home runs this season, both against Anderson, and it looks like he is just continuing his hot hitting. I feel like Dom Smith in left field is also defensively doing well. We know that he's not a defensive guy in left field. He's traditionally a first baseman, but it's good to see him not make too many errors or too many mistakes over there, because we need Dom Smith in the lineup every single day. And this was the first time we saw Dom Smith in the 3-hole, because as we know, Michael Conforto has been in a terrible slump. So Rojas put Michael Conforto down to the 6-hole and batting Dom Smith at the 3-hole. And I love that move from Rojas, because we know Conforto is struggling. Pete Alonso, he had 4 at-bats in this game with 1 hit and 1 RBI, and that hit was the clutch one in the bottom of the 8th. It's interesting, the man on second rule. I'm not a fan of it personally, but hey, it worked in the Mets' favor. Jeff McNeil, he had a nice slapped single up the middle that game with 4 at-bats and 1 hit. Michael Conforto, he continues to struggle. He did not have a hit. He did have a walk, and he did get hit by a pitch in the wrist, and he actually had to get x-rays, which were negative, and that's why he did not play in game 2. So he is day-to-day. We'll see if he will play tomorrow. James McCann, he had 1 hit of his own. Louis Guillorme, he had a hit and only 1 at bat because he had 2 walks. Guillorme is a pesky hitter. I love him. And Jonathon Villar had the walk-off hit in the bottom of the 8th inning. Very clutch performance from Villar with ice in his veins, and they got to celebrate. So that really does it for the Game 1 recap. We saw a lot of clutch hitting from the Mets, whether it's Pete Alonso in extra innings, Villar. We also saw really good performances from Castro. He pitched 1.2 innings with 2 hits, gave up 1 run with 3 strikeouts, but I'm okay with that. Castro did his job. He looks filthy out there. I feel like Miguel Castro is low-key a gem in the bullpen. And then Edwin Diaz came in, and he pitched 1 inning and gave up no runs. So it's good to see him get that. And then Trevor May finished off the day and got the W. So that does it for the first game recap. Let's get into the next game, which is a Marcus Stroman gem. Marcus Stroman is so impressive to me, guys. I feel like he is destined to have a very good season. It's unfortunate that he was unable to get the complete game. That's probably because he was on the bases. He bat in the 6th inning, and that tells you that Rojas and the Mets coaching staff wanted him to finish off the game in the 7th. But since he got on base with that walk and he was on the bases with the jacket on, he probably got a little tight. He was not loose anymore, so they went the smart route and put Familia out there, and Familia did his job in the bottom of the, or the top of the 7th rather. So Marcus Stroman, 6 innings, 4 hits, 0 runs, 3 strikeouts. And Marcus Stroman's ERA so far this season is a sub-1. He is lights out so far. And it's interesting because what Marcus Stroman is known for, especially in his first start, is getting those soft grounders. He had 12 ground ball outs in Game 1 tonight. I'm pretty sure he only had 3. So what he was doing today, he was dealing. He only had 3 strikeouts, but they were flying out. They were grounding into double plays. We saw really good plays from Francisco Lindor and Jeff McNeil in the infield, getting those double play balls, especially Francisco Lindor. He looks so good out there defensively at short. We know that he's not doing that great at the plate so far this season, even though we did have an extra base hit in tonight's game, but he is flashing the leather at short, and we'd love to see that from Francisco Lindor. So Marcus Stroman, his energy, his enthusiasm, his passion, everything about Stroman, I love. He is developing into the guy that we need next to Jacob deGrom at that 2 spot, because I feel like we know that what we're going to get from Jake every single day that he pitches is going to be brilliant. And after that, we need to make sure that this starting rotation has depth behind them, and that's exactly what they're proving with Walker and Stroman so far. Hopefully we can see David Peterson have a breakout game, because he has a 13.50 ERA after giving up 6 runs in his last performance. I'll actually be at that game with Wardy tomorrow night. So really good performances from Marcus Stroman and Jerry's Familia out of the pen. So let's get into the offense. Brandon Nimmo leading off. He had 3 hits today with 3 RBIs. Brandon Nimmo is red hot. He looks like definitely the guy that is in the most rhythm so far this season offensively at the plate. His situational hitting is very good as well. Whenever he's leading off, it seems like he likes to draw walks, but when there's man on base, we saw him attack the first hit and drive it to the right field and drive in 2 runs. So it's good to see Brandon Nimmo really getting comfortable at the plate, because he is a perfect prototype guy to lead off the lineup for the New York Mets. Francisco Lindor, he had 3 at-bats with 1 hit and a walk, and that hit was a double down the left field line. He slapped it, just went fair. It's good to see Francisco Lindor get an extra base hit. And then Dom Smith, he did not do anything in this day. He was 0 for 4. Pete Alonso, he had a hit as well. Jeff McNeil had a hit. Pilar had a hit. Jonathon Villar had a hit. And Tomas Nido had a triple, actually, which is pretty dope. So overall, guys, this was a very good performance from the New York Mets today. We came out with 2 victories in a row. We were now 4-3 on the season. This was very important to sweep the series. It was a little stretch to say that we needed to sweep the series. We at least wanted to get one of the 2, but hey, we got both. So let's go Mets. We're going up against Zach Wheeler, the former Met, tomorrow night. I will be at the game with Wardy, so stay tuned for content here on my channel and, of course, over on Tyler Wardy's channel. So that does it for this video. If you guys stayed into the end, comment down below an Apple emoji, and do not forget to comment also your takes on tonight's game as well, and like the video if you guys enjoyed. That does it for this video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic night. Let's go Mets. You gotta believe. Peace.